Hey Kentucky, this is Mary Jo Perino. Tonight we'll look ahead to Kentucky, Florida. Plus, medical marijuana takes another step towards legalization in Kentucky. And I'll talk with the man behind a new documentary about the Ark Encounter. All that and more is next on Hey Kentucky. Welcome into Hey Kentucky. Deidre Ransell is my co-host tonight, and I love that we have an all-female show this evening.
I do too. I'm very excited. We've got a lot to talk about.
I know, and that rarely happens, and you got the black memo.
I know,
so
I
I'm
did
good.
get the memo.
All right, perfect. All right, let's get started with this. The Kentucky Wildcats look to make it 6 wins in a row tomorrow against Florida. The Gators are having kind of a disappointing season at 17-9 after being a preseason top 10 team, but of late they've won 5 of their last 6. And a win in Rupp would go a long way for their NCAA tournament hopes. Florida's 9-4 in the SEC. That's stuck in a logjam of teams 2 games back from Kentucky. But yeah, they are in second place in the SEC. So this is a big game for the Gators for conference tournament seeding. The Cats come into this one a little hobbled after a tough win over LSU in Baton Rouge, where Ashton Hagen suffered a thigh contusion and Nick Richards tweaked his ankle when he landed on a ball after a dunk late in the game. Here's what Coach Cal had to say ahead of the matchup.
Our schedule down the stretch is ridiculous, but it is what it is. And, and we're beat up. And do you think the biggest thing I'm hearing, there are a lot of people out there that feel sorry for us. They're having parties in other parts of the league right now.
All right, Hagens, Richards, they're both listed as day-to-day going into the game. Nick played after he got hurt, so I would imagine he will go against the Gators. I'm not sure what Ashton will look like. But listen, Florida realistically is 2 games behind Kentucky, and they have 2 games left with us. So this is a big one for them.
And I think it's really tough when you match up these teams that all have so much on the line this late in the season, just back-to-back basically, with only 1 practice day realistically in the week because you got a Tuesday game and a Saturday game. So Thursday's really your only big, hard practice week. Man, I just hope they can get it together and stay healthy. That's all we need.
I know, because
healthy is good.
Healthy is good. All right, sticking with basketball, this is just awesome. A campaign to pick Nick has ramped up for junior forward Nick Richards to be named an All-American and the SEC Player of the Year. The UK Athletics Department released this politically styled campaign ad yesterday.
Junior Nick Richards gives me hope.
Hope for a brighter tomorrow. Hope for March.
Kentucky will go as far as Nick Richards can take them.
With determination, experience, and 3 years of hard work, Nick Richards has cemented himself as one of the best players in the country.
Nick Richards is the big man America needs.
Pick Nick. I don't want to get political, but Nick's my guy.
Pick Nick for SEC Player of the Year.
Pick Nick.
Pick Nick, because there's never been a candidate like him.
I'm Nick Richards, and I approve this message.
I mean, this is awesome. Our own Drew Franklin made it in there. I mean, this is perfection in every way.
And I love that they have Nick at the end saying, I'm Nick and I approve this message. It is so perfect. It is clever, and he better get there.
And they have some individual things with like Drew doing an individual one. The best is Leah Edmonds, his girlfriend, the superstar volleyball player,
awesome.
Dusting off all of her trophies. And she says, please pick Nick. So he has his own trophy to dust off.
That's great stuff.
Perfection. Pick Nick.
Absolutely.
Get that hashtag going. All right. Let's move to Frankfort, where we've got an update on the medical marijuana bill. It passed the State House yesterday, 65-30. Now the bill will go to the Senate, where leaders have voiced concerns. If passed, Kentucky would be the 34th state to legalize medical marijuana, but it would have the most strict laws in the country among states where it is legal. Supporters of the legislation, both lawmakers and patients, were cautiously optimistic after yesterday.
House Bill 136, when it is passed, which I hope that it is, will be the tightest medical marijuana bill in the country.
This isn't done. This isn't done. We'll be here next week. Won't be here tomorrow, but we'll be here next week. We're getting meeting with senators and trying to persuade them to vote yes.
A big concession made by the bill's sponsor was that it will only be legal in pill or oil form and will still be illegal to smoke. The bill also does not include sales tax like Governor Beshear had campaigned for and aims to be revenue neutral like every other medicine. Deidre, I'm cool with that. You shouldn't have to pay tax on a medicine.
Absolutely.
But this has got to pass. I'm afraid it's not going to, and it's going to make me sick.
And I think the worry about, well, we can't let anybody smoke it, because we're deciding that that's the wrong way for you to take it in. They're so caught up in the wrong part of this opportunity for people to get the help that they need. It's so amazing to think that we have a chance for people to have some medication that can make a difference for them, and we're going to hold that back from them because we don't like one part of this legislation.
Right.
It's got to pass. It's got to pass.
And to me, the poll that was taken that says 90% of Kentuckians support this, if you truly are representing your constituents, this will pass.
Yep.
Oh, also in Frankfort, Senate Bill 90 has made its way through committee and now can be heard on the Senate floor. That bill would allow healthcare professionals to refuse to take part in procedures or dispense medications that violate their religious, moral, ethical, or philosophical beliefs. Critics say the legislation would be the most extreme refusal of medical service bill in the country and would limit access to things like birth control, antidepressants, or could even lead to a refusal to treat patients having a miscarriage because they don't want to participate in end-of-pregnancy care. But yesterday, lawmakers heard pleas from a group of nurses on the issue.
I've seen hospitals violate their own policies to advance very high-profile and unethical care in the name of research, or, bigger yet, in an attempt to procure funding. We need the freedom as medical professionals to decline active participation and not violate our own personal, ethical, and moral standards. I've been blessed. In 20 years that I've been a nurse, I've never had a patient die under my care. I have a very strict moral code. Everyone's life is precious. Knowing that a medical professional can speak openly without retaliation or threat of losing his or her job is paramount to the health and welfare of us all.
A separate bill would alter Kentucky's constitution to remove the right to an abortion. Deidre, what do you make of this legislation?
Well, I can't imagine a medical professional who does not want to help everyone. I really can't imagine that person. That's like a teacher not wanting to teach everyone and wanting to, choose to just teach a few. I just see doctors coming into that profession because they want to help everyone and make a difference. So it's very difficult for me to even picture the doctors that wouldn't want to save someone or make a difference in their lives. So I hope it does not
I also
pass.
don't think it would make it very far because I'm a patient and a consumer, and if I need help treating depression, anxiety, and anything else, I'm going to go find a doctor that is willing to listen to me.
Absolutely.
So,
and treat the whole patient.
Treat the whole
not
patient.
just what they feel like treating that day.
Correct. All right, in other news, 3 young Owensboro women face felony charges for endangering 6 children they were babysitting. Police say they pulled over the vehicle for going 97 miles an hour in a 70. The officer then noticed a strong smell of marijuana, noticed the 3 children in the back of the car not restraining car seats. While giving a field sobriety test, the officer heard a noise coming from the trunk, found 3 more small children inside. The adults, ages 18, 19, and 20, were arrested on various charges. Deidre, this is horrifying. I can't imagine being the parent of those kids, but they had to have, I would hope, know that maybe they left their kids with the wrong people. I don't know the situation, but this is awful.
Well, you have to vet your babysitters as best you can, and you do that. And 90%, 99% of the parents do that. Sometimes there's an emergency situation and you may have a neighbor help out or someone that you don't really know a lot about. I would hope that that was the case here. But I cannot imagine. I want the book thrown at these girls
you
because
put my
they
kids in a
endangered
trunk,
those children.
I will find you.
I just
will
cannot.
let you down.
I can't imagine it.
No.
It's just awful.
All right, now in Hay, Kentucky, in case you missed it, citing the Paducah and Marshall County school shootings and recent incidents of guns found in schools, Governor Beshear has agreed to sign Senate Bill 8. That's the legislation calling for police officers in schools to be armed. He also acknowledged concerns of those children who don't feel safe around the officers. Meanwhile, the internal struggle at Brady Industries continues. The current leadership of the project has responded to the lawsuit from former CEO Craig Bouchard, saying that he was running up the company credit card with tens of thousands of dollars in unsubstantiated travel and meal charges. And Berea College has released a couple of new details on their decision to cancel the 2020 baseball season, saying it was due to rules broken by some, but not all, of the players. Berea reiterates they do plan to field a team in 2021. Up next on Hey Kentucky, some documentary filmmakers decided to focus on a controversial landmark off I-75 in Grant County. They'll tell us about their new film on Kentucky's Ark Encounter when we return.